Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Cartere, and in this video I am going to be doing a review of No Man's Sky. Now the footage in the background is basically my first hour with the game, and before I get into talking about what I like and what I don't like about the game, I want to talk about my first few moments with the game. Now I got into the game. I was really excited to play it, although I've saw loads of negative reports online, and I did watch a bit of a live stream, and it seemed very boring within the live stream. It seemed like the gameplay would get very repetitive very quickly. Although I thought, you know what, maybe playing it will be a bit different. And when I jumped into it, yeah, it was definitely different. It was definitely different. You start off on the first planet. Your ship is destroyed basically, and you need to repair it. And those first beginning few moments were interesting because I didn't know what I was getting into, didn't know what was going to happen, and there was loads of mystery and curiosity that was really happening at that point. So yeah, I was super curious about all the mystery. I wanted to find out what was going on. I went and explored a little bit, and when I first left that planet, I went to another planet and explored another planet, and fixed my ship and started getting the resources and stuff. I was excited. I was excited. I thought this game was cool. I thought it was like a sci-fi version of Minecraft. I did do a first impressions video where I did talk about it like that, and I was pretty positive about it at first because, as I said, I hadn't seen everything yet, so everything seemed like it was, a new thing. It was a new discovery. There was loads of things to be found. There was loads of interesting things around every corner. Every time I was exploring, it was an interesting experience. And that occurred maybe for the first, I would say, 15 to 20 hours of me playing it. And then the tedium really started to kick in. I just didn't care anymore. Like, I went to a few Atlas stations because I was trying to follow the Atlas path, which is basically you have you either go towards the center of the galaxy or you can follow this Atlas path, which kind of gives you a bare bones story. And I thought, you know what, let me follow this Atlas path because I like to have a little bit of direction in my game. So I was hoping that this was going to bring me in some sort of direction. So I went to the first one. Didn't really get much of a satisfaction from that, and then I went to the second one, and I expected there to eventually that build on the story. Basically, I expected to get something better out of it, but I just got warp cells and an Atlas stone. And at that point I was kind of, what, I kind of just didn't care anymore. Like, let me close my email, sorry about that. At that point it was like, what's the point? What is the point to keep on getting resources to fill up all my like all the bars and stuff just so I can go and find more of these Atlas points that don't really do much for me? Basically, that's the kind of mind state that I'm in with No Man's Sky right about now. Like, there's loads of potential here, there's loads of things that, if there was some improvements on the game, it could be a really great game. But right about now, it's I've gotten bored basically. So the main like components of the game is to gather resources in order to power all your systems, like power all the systems on your ship and power all your suit systems. Like, that's basically what you're doing. You're gathering resources to stay alive, and then you gather more resources to either sell or maybe hold, so that maybe you can craft an upgrade later. And like, the thing about that is you start out with such low inventory space that the game really punishes you for exploring and doing stuff like that, because you got such a low inventory space. And it gets filled up so quickly, you kind of don't want to explore, because you're like, if I do explore and I find something, I won't be able to hold it, I won't be able to store it or anything. So that really hurts the game. And yet the inventory system is just not good at all. You do get more inventory slots later, but at that point I just it just didn't matter anymore. It didn't matter at that point because I was like, I've got these inventory slots now, but I don't really want to do anything. I keep on getting the same upgrade, and I wanted to find the upgrade for my multi-tool, and it's hard to find that. See, the reason, because it's procedurally generated, it's hard to actually find what you want to find. You go around and you find loads of random places, random waypoints, and then you can use a beacon to find other random waypoints like dotted out through the planet and whatnot. And then you can find a specific type of structure, sure, but you can't guarantee that you're gonna find exactly what you want. It's always randomized, and you might not get what you want to get. Like, you can find inventory space pretty easily, but the multi-tools, I didn't find a way to actually get those as frequently as I would have liked. There's no manual for the game, which is, you know, terrible in my opinion, but that's to be expected with games coming out these days. But this game definitely would have been better served with a manual. I was very happy at first that I could learn everything myself, but then when I did learn like most of what I think is in the game, because I haven't made it to the center, and I don't think I'm going to try to do that, because I just got bored of like exploring planets and doing much of anything in this game at the moment. So I really don't want to grind through the tedium to try and get to the center and hope that there's a better, you know, thing at the end. It just seems as though the main reason that I was continuing to play the game is because I thought the main the main gameplay loop kind of, you know, leads you to getting more upgrades and stuff. When you get more upgrades, you use the resources that you've gained and mined around in order to build your upgrades. But then I just stopped caring about the upgrades, and the upgrades take up an inventory space, which is silly again. But yeah, so you mine and stuff, and then you can sell your stuff, or you can keep it, and then you can build other upgrades. But in building an upgrade, you have to give up the inventory slot, so you have to make that decision. And then you can go to these Atlas stations to kind of have a remnant of a story. You can also look for knowledge stones, which give you words of power and stuff like that. You can not words of power, my bad, that's Witcher 3, which gives you allows you to learn the words of each civilization. I think there's about 3 alien factions, and you know, learning those words, it allows you to easily solve the little puzzles that they give you every time you see them. But you're not going to be engaging in worthwhile conversation at all. There is no worthwhile conversation. There is no real depth to any conversation that you have with any of the aliens. It really feels like you're super lonely in this universe, which I believed to be the intended feeling that you're supposed to get. And at first that was cool, but then eventually I started to want more. Like, there was no need for me to continue playing the game, because I felt as though I had seen all the random pre-generated elements that would be used to build up any other planet, and there was no real sense of progression, no sense of awe or discovery after I'd seen basically everything. And yeah, there's 18 quintillion planets, but what's the point of looking at all these 18 quintillion planets if they all contain the same things? And that's one of the main bad things about this game, the fact that there's not really much to do. And I thought I wouldn't get bored of it, but I definitely have got bored of it. In terms of my expectations for the game, it's what I thought it was going to be, you know, procedurally generated and all that sort of stuff. I didn't really have wild expectations like a lot of people had, but I didn't have a lot of information to go on. All I had was knowing that there'll be loads of planets and you can fly from planet to planet and that sort of stuff. Apparently you can be a trader and a pirate. You can't really be a pirate in this game at all. And yeah, so I had the information there. I knew exactly what they told us, and basically most of the stuff that they said were going to be in the game was in the game. But it's not really fulfilling after a long period of time. The menus look very similar to Destiny. That's not a dig at the game. I think that's pretty cool. I really do like Destiny's menu, so I'm happy another game ripped it off. Hopefully with the updates, this game can become better. Also, everyone's experience will be different in terms of their starting point. You can start on, because you'll start on a different planet, and you'll have different, you know, things that you have to do, because your planet might not be rich in a certain resource, and other people might have, you know, different resources and that sort of stuff. So that makes it a different experience for everyone. But you know, unless you really are into finding every single little randomly generated or procedurally generated animal and planet, and just see how different things can get, then if you're not into that, I think this game will bore you. Like in a I don't even know how long. It might bore you in a short amount of time, but it'll definitely bore you within 2 days. But see, I do have a list of pros and cons. Like the mystery and exploration was exciting at first. Finding new upgrades was a great driving force. Learning the alien languages was fun at first. And the choice between upgrades and inventory space was tough. And it seemed like a worthwhile choice, kind of. But it's also a negative. Now, the cons, I feel, outweigh the pros that I actually have when it comes to this game. Like, the gameplay loop gets boring after a while. There's not enough inventory space at the start. Lack of inventory space discourages exploration. That's terrible. They really shouldn't have done that. The game forces you into space combat without the option of escape. That is one of the worst, most terrible things about the game. Is like, also certain times if you try and launch, you'll be bugged into space, so that hasn't been patched. And if you're in space for too long, space pirates will do a scan, and then they'll find you, and then they'll come and fight you, and you're usually facing like more than 3. So you're facing more than 3 AI controlled ships that have like perfect handling. They shoot you with reckless abandon. They got excellent accuracy. You have no way to maneuver out of the way of these projectiles or anything. All you can do basically is watch your shields go down, try and shoot them, just take damage, and then repair your shields, and then try and shoot some more. It's really crap. The space combat leaves a lot to be desired. There definitely needed to be some sort of maneuvering out of like the way of danger and whatnot, so you can actually dodge being shot. Right about now, you just need to soak up damage and hopefully put out more damage than they're putting out on you. But if you're fighting like 5 different pirates, it's a bit like difficult, and then it becomes easier to just sit there and die than take the long process of expending all your inventory, using all your materials to keep yourself alive to fight like a 10-minute space battle. It's just terrible. Really, it's really terrible, and I think that was a grave mistake on the developers' part. And there's no way to run away from these space battles, which is just terrible. Like, you're supposed to be able to play the game the way you want, but if you have a ship that is dedicated to holding inventory and getting you around places, you're still forced into combat, and that just doesn't make sense to me. And yeah, there's no waypoint feature, which you know, if you go down to a planet and you find something and you go away, you'll never find it again, because these planets are huge. So that's a bit annoying. I already said there's no manual, but that's one of my cons. The damage indication is not representative of the damage you're actually taking. Now this this is kind of a nitpick, I guess, but I think it's a genuine criticism, because when you take damage in this game, the screen goes red, and I think your pad vibrates. I don't remember, because I haven't played it recently. But I think your pad vibrates, but basically it just seems like you're taking loads of damage. But if you actually look at your shields and your health, you're actually taking a very small amount of damage, but the game just kind of like communicates the fact that you're taking a extreme amount. And I think it's because, you know, this type of system is taken from first person shooters like Call of Duty and whatnot. Like when you get the blood on your face and stuff goes red, you generally are believing that you know you're about to die and whatnot. So maybe, you know, my programming from me playing games like Call of Duty has made me believe that, and you know, maybe the developers didn't play those games, but then I wonder where they got the inspiration from using this feature from. But yeah, it just seems like it's way out of whack. They need to tone that down way more. They need to fix all these bugs and whatnot before this is even a game worth playing more than a day, to be honest. Yeah, there's no indication of how much mining is too much. If you start mining and, you know, if, like, it seems like if you're mining in front of a sentinel, if they come over and you start mining and you're mining, I don't even know if you're mining too much or what you're allowed to mine or what you're not to mine, but eventually the sentinels will just start shooting you. There's no real indication of what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. That is annoying. And then they start attacking you and doing all that sort of stuff, and that's not cool. That's not cool. You should have some sort of knowledge what this action is going to lead to. You shouldn't just be thrown out there and then do stuff and then, you know, be punished for it. Like, the game's all about mining. How can you mine too much? Like, that's just silly. But yeah, those are basically my thoughts on the game. That's basically my review. Would I tell you guys to buy this game right now at full price? No, I wouldn't. I didn't want to make a video, you know, dissing No Man's Sky, because I saw so many videos dissing No Man's Sky, and I didn't actually feel like that at the time of me watching those videos. But now I kind of understand what most people are going through. Like, it just gets super tedious, and it seems like there's no point after a while. Like, what is the point of me doing anything? And I know some people might be able to find the point in, you know, doing nothing and whatnot, and maybe with the building update it will become better, but you know, time will tell. But No Man's Sky as it is right now, the product that's currently out, I wouldn't tell you to go out and purchase it. If you're not a YouTuber or anything, don't buy it. If you are a YouTuber, then you probably already bought it. Like, that's the only reason I bought it, to be honest. But I was excited for it, so I guess I probably would have bought it if I was just a consumer. But if you're just thinking, you know, should I spend my hard-earned money on No Man's Sky? No, wait for a sale. If I was going to give it a rating out of 10, I'd probably give it, I don't even know, because it was cool in the beginning, and now it's just gone so downhill that I don't even care to put it on anymore. I'd probably give it like a 5. It's good for the experience of checking it out the first time, but after like a day or two of playing it, I think most people will get bored, to be honest. Maybe with more updates down the road it will get better, so definitely keep an eye out to see what they're doing with the game, and if they're, you know, updating it and adding more features and stuff. And I think down the road it will probably be a better game, but right about now it's really bare bones, and it seems like a good skeleton to build on. But I wouldn't tell anyone to go out and purchase this at full price. Maybe rent it. Definitely, I don't even know if people still do game rentals because Blockbuster doesn't exist anymore. But if you can rent it or borrow it off a friend for a couple of days or something like that. But yeah, that was my review. I hope you guys liked it. Please hit that like button. Also, be sure to subscribe for more No Man's Sky videos and more videos and stuff like that. I don't even know if I'll be doing more No Man's Sky videos. We'll see what the updates are saying. If you want to check out the rest of my No Man's Sky videos, you can click on the playlist on the screen and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking about No Man's Sky. If you're enjoying it, if you've got the game, if you're thinking about getting it, if you've just been watching gameplay and all that sort of stuff, just let me know your opinions down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.